Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life. Are you ready to start living your life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Welcome, my friends, to the Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It is great to be back with you. Just in case you found yourself wondering at all, everything is absolutely fine. My wife and I just decided to take 2 weeks off of everything and just recharge our batteries a little bit. With all of the chaos and craziness going on, we just wanted an opportunity to relax, enjoy each other, and recharge. We spent a lot of our time in meditation, doing Qigong, martial arts training, working out, things like that, and just relaxing and enjoying one another and life itself, just as a way to clear our heads and attain a clear perspective for where we wanted to go moving forward. But overall, this time allowed us the opportunity to go deeper into aspects of mindfulness and meditative practices, meditation, and even contemplation for many of these spiritual topics. And we spent a lot of time working with our minds, strengthening them to all new levels. There are so many things in spirituality and even martial arts, the older schools of martial arts, that involve capabilities of your mind. And they require a great deal of effort in order to develop. So we spent a lot of our time working through those practices and engaging that sort of mental training. So this time away, this break, brought up some insights, some perspectives perhaps, regarding time. And that's what I would like to cover in today's show. And I would like to share with you some various perspectives, both very pragmatically and then spiritually, in regards to the common and not so common understanding of time as human beings. And as such, we have not yet reached a point where we truly understand how time works. We don't understand the true nature of time. There are a lot of theories through physics and things, but they are theories. There's nothing proven as far as the true nature of time and how it works in various realities. So it's a rather mysterious and elusive concept, and yet we rely on man-made versions of that in so many ways every single day of our life. So that was another thing my wife and I did on this vacation, and it might be something that you would enjoy trying if you have the time, even if it's just a weekend, right? You could do this. But on this vacation, we made it a point to let go of all forms of man-made time as much as we possibly could, and no longer pay attention to what day it was or what time it was. And instead, we just went by the cycles of nature and how we were feeling at any specific time. In other words, when it got dark and we got tired, then we went to bed. And when we woke up in the morning, we got up. We didn't need it to be any particular time. We didn't eat at any particular time. We performed our meditation, our meditative practices, our Qigong, our workouts whenever we felt like it. We didn't do it according to any time of the day or evening. And there's something incredibly freeing about doing that. My wife and I sat and visited about this for quite some time. How freeing it was to be able to let go of all of the confines that we place on ourselves and others place on us as well in regards to time. So what I'd like to do is just present you with some various perspectives to contemplate for yourself and see how you perceive time within your own life, and maybe this will help you to expand your understanding of that and maybe even alter just a little bit how you view time. The first perspective is a very pragmatic one. It was one that I heard all the time as a child, even growing up into adulthood. There was a very common phrase that time is money. And you may have heard that too. You may even live by that. It ends up being part of our conditioning. We start to believe that time is money. And one of the things that this does is it sets us up to be conditioned into the slavery type aspect of the hourly wage, because it's nearly impossible to attain financial freedom when you are getting paid by the hour, when you have a certain hourly wage that says this is what you are worth. This is how we value the moments of your life, the time of your life, whether it's minimum wage or whether it's $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $90 an hour, whatever it is, it places a sense of worth on your life that is determined by others. But it was very interesting when I started to talk with wealthier people and read their books and attend trainings with these people, that they realized that that keeps you held down in ways we don't generally consider, such as how it prompts us to work longer hours, to put in a bunch of overtime so we can make more money. We are trading time for money. And I urge you to pause and consider that for a moment, that you are trading the moments of your lifetime, for that amount of money. And I'm not belittling the importance of money here, don't get me wrong, nor am I ignoring the fact that we need to make money to have a home and to eat and to have some security and things like that. No, we truly need these things. And I'm not ignoring the fact that when you have some extra money in your life, that life tends to get a little easier. What I'm getting at here is the value. We value money more than time. And this is where things begin to go wrong. So I'd like to encourage you to look inside, a little introspection, and see if you have this kind of mentality where time is money. Because when you do, you view things as though, okay, the more time I spend working to make more money, the more money I can make. And while there is logic to that, you surrender your life in the pursuit of making that money. So when we begin to change this mindset, we look at things a little differently. We kind of turn it inside out, and we begin to look at the value of what we have to contribute as opposed to the time involved. And for some, this can be a very important mental breakthrough that can not only help you become free of this sort of confining mentality, but even result in your ability to make more money and spend less time doing so. And something that I'm aware all of you know, but I'm going to reiterate here anyway, you can always make more money. If you lose $10, you can always find a way to make another $10. But when a moment in time has passed, it's gone forever. You can never retrieve it. You cannot reclaim lost time. And believe me, time is so much more valuable than money could ever be. I doubt that much of anybody has ever been gasping their last breath in this life and said, if only I could have made another $100,000. No, chances are they're wishing that they had just a few more moments, a few more hours, a few more days to enjoy this lifetime. I'm not saying that time or money is good or bad. I'm just offering a perspective that will allow you to get a better understanding for the relationship between time and money. And this leads us to the second topic on time, which is immortality. Most, if not every, large organized religion promises this in one form or another. And we hear stories and myths about ways to find elixirs and cups and all kinds of things that will offer us eternal life. Have you ever stopped to consider the real appeal? What is it that attracts us to this idea of immortality? Well, it goes back primarily to the fear of death. However, what are we seeking through immortality? To live forever? Well, look a little deeper yet, and you will come to understand that what the appeal of immortality truly is to have more time. And in this regard, we could even look at the allure of time travel, right? What is it ultimately? To experience this time in the future or that time in the past. Meanwhile, we ignore the present when everything is truly happening. This is why time travel appeals to people, because it allows them to serve the ego, because the ego loves to exist in the past or future, primarily the past. And most of the time, when you talk to someone about time travel, they generally want to go into the past. But either way, that's all that is. It's another form of desiring more time. And time travel is kind of detrimental in that regard because it keeps us locked in any moment other than this present moment. And it would allow us, think about it, it would allow us to move throughout any time, but yet the only real time that exists is now. And when you learn to be present in the moment, without the mind fixating on the past or the future, you're truly in the moment, that time seems eternal. And that is the only time that truly exists. So while this life is an illusion playing out through experiencing from the perspective of the physical body and the mind, it still has tremendous value. And it's still an incredibly enjoyable and potentially spiritually expanding experience. So the question arises then, is immortality so desirable because it would allow us to experience more of this life? Or is it desirable merely because we fear death more than anything else? Generally, for the ordinary mind, that untrained through mindfulness and other practices, there is the tendency to seek the comfort of immortality. And this is what religions sell. It's a business, and they are selling the idea of immortality. You get to still be you in some ghostly form or whatever, and you get to go to this beautiful special place, and you get to do this or have that or whatever it is that's being sold to you to create a sense of comfort and ease that fear of death. But our pure conscious awareness is already eternal. Energy cannot be destroyed, it merely changes form. So, how do you view time? Do you think about what it would be like to be immortal, live a long life, which is keeping you locked in the future? Or are you living in the moment? Are you truly living and embracing each unfolding moment? I find it extremely interesting that the degree to which we get to truly embrace and enjoy our life is dependent upon how little we fear death. The more fear of dying that we have, the less capability we have to truly live. So this takes us into a third perspective of time, where we view time as the present moment instead of past, present, and future. Now, I'm not saying that those expressions of time do not exist in some form. They certainly do. But where does our mind spend its time? Focusing on the past, focusing towards the future, or truly living in the present moment where life is actually taking place? So while we understand that life itself is an illusion, it's something we're here experiencing in the physical nature of this lifetime. So if we learn to live in the moment, we can experience each one of these moments to the fullest. It is mindfulness that gives us the capability to fully embrace each and every unfolding moment as they occur and be fully conscious during every one of those moments, thereby allowing us not to waste a single precious moment of time. So now we can see the role that time plays in living a fully engaged life. And living in the moment, being in the present moment, is something like mindfulness today, especially here in the West, because they have become something other than actual formal practices. They have become just New Age buzzwords, watered down to mean whatever you want it to mean. And anybody that pays attention for a moment believes that they are living in the moment. Paying attention to it is a good start. It's a great thing. But is it the actual experience of being in the moment? No, not at all. And the same happens with mindfulness. A lot of times people believe that, if I pay attention to it, then I'm being mindful. That is not what mindfulness means in terms of these spiritual practices. And I find it very interesting because even in teaching martial arts like Japanese swordsmanship, this same misconception arises. I remember having a class filled with sword students in Michigan, and I was teaching them the idea of getting their mind to extend and to go past the physical body. For most people, the mind is kind of stuck in the head. And what we're trying to do is get it to encompass the entire body. And if we look at the mind as maybe existing or inhabiting the mental body area or layer of our aura, of our electromagnetic field, then we understand how we can get our mind and body to unify. And then from there, we work at extending our mind outward. And obviously in Japanese swordsmanship, you're supposed to be able to get your mind eventually to go out to the tip of your sword. And what happens is students look at the tip of their sword and they believe that they have extended their mind to the tip of the sword. No, you're merely looking at the tip of the sword with your eyes. That doesn't mean you have done anything with your mind as far as extending it that way. That is a whole nother practice. So we can see how easily we can fall into these misconceptions just based upon just putting our attention on something. That is not enough. That's the most superficial layer of any of these practices. So avoid those types of mental traps if you can. Living in the moment, being in the moment, is one of the most powerful ways we can experience this lifetime. And then, of course, this leads us into a fourth perspective, sort of a spiritual perspective on time. What do we understand about time spiritually? Well, we understand that there's a set of rules for those that are in this physical body and mind. And then it seems as though there's another set of rules once we leave this body and mind and we return to pure conscious awareness, this energetic state of awareness without any physical or mental representation. Here we get to the fact that we are eternal, so there really is no time. Everything simply is. And in this energetic, fully conscious state, there really is no need for any man-made constructs of time. And just something that I have found very interesting over the years is that the more we become capable of being in the moment and truly living that moment in the moment without any influences towards the past or future, it feels eternal. It feels as though you escape. Even in this body and mind, you manage to escape to some degree the confines of the man-made constructs of time, and you get a little glimpse into the eternal nature of time. And you're doing this because in order to be in the moment, you have to transcend the mind and be living through this consciousness, even in this body and mind. And this is one of the primary points of spirituality. And this is why it's so important for spiritual practices to focus on working on our own mind. And that is time well spent. But just take a moment to pause, if you would, and reaffirm within yourself just how valuable your time is. How valuable, how precious time is in order to spend every possible moment with those we love, doing the things that we enjoy so much. When you are truly capable of grasping the value of your time, the time of your life, time you can never get back, then you truly rise above the idea of wasting time. Now, I'm not talking about relaxation. Relaxation is very valuable. We need relaxation time. That is not wasted time. What I'm talking about is when you're just sitting around and you succumb to distractions, or you surrender your life for entertainment, or every moment you spend living mindlessly, unconsciously, is wasted time. It's throwing our lives away. And life is meant to be an incredible adventure. Live it as such. It is an incredible opportunity for us to experience, to spiritually expand, and to enjoy all of the amazing things that physical life has to offer. Everything physically, everything mentally, everything emotionally, all those things we get to enjoy. We cannot become attached to them, of course. We allow them to naturally rise and fall. But how many opportunities to fully experience those we love and the things we enjoy doing do we actually give away without even realizing it, instead of actually experiencing them? As far as being present, My point to this entire episode is this. Take a few moments, have a seat, and contemplate the value you place on your time. And when you can truly grasp that every moment that goes by can no longer be reclaimed, you start to realize just how valuable this fleeting thing called time really is, and why every single moment that we have is worth embracing to the fullest. This, my friends, is the time of your life. Don't be in such a hurry to throw it away, to waste it, to give it away frivolously. Instead, embrace it and treat it with the incredible value and respect that it deserves. Please take a moment to visit me at www.expansionmastery.com. You can grab an autographed copy of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life, while you are there, as well as check out some of the other goodies, ebook. There's going to be some breath programs coming up very, very soon. I promise. They'll be coming up, and we have all kinds of neat articles there. And if you would, please share these videos and help us out on social media as much as possible. It is always appreciated, and I pay attention to every single share, like, comment, email, everything myself. So please know that you are appreciated for your efforts, and they are not going unnoticed, I assure you. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the very best in your practices and your life. Take care.